Hey viewers, welcome back to Brave All Trades. Today we are working on a Husqvarna. It's a YTH 21K46. So basically 21 horsepower, 46-inch deck. Owner said that it was making a whole bunch of noise and thought that the rod was thrown in the engine. I'm going to lift this up so that you guys can see. This is a very common problem with this Kohler Courage 21. I've seen this several times before. What I want to do is just fire it up. I don't know if the audio is going to pick it up or not, but you'll hear a terrible knocking noise. Let's see, full choke. So you heard that terrible knocking noise, right? Believe it or not, it doesn't have a hole through the block. And I've seen this several times before, so I knew where to go. Take a look at the engine real quick. The whole engine is actually moving back and forth. I'm going to tighten it up, see if that actually solves the issue, and we'll talk about why it actually does this on the specific model. All right, so looking at the bottom of the motor, you've got 4 bolts that hold the motor up. So I'm on the ground looking up right now. There's one up here at the front, one right here. You've got one on the other side of the motor up in the front, one right there. Hopefully, I don't know if y'all can see it or not. It's right up here, and then you've got 2 in the back. I'm just going to tighten those up. It's what holds the motor down. It's the bolts that come up through the engine block. Like right here, there's actually a bolt coming up through that pile of dirt. There's one on that corner, one on the other corner, and then there's one right behind here. I think it's actually coming up right through here. Yeah, it's coming up right through there, and it all bolts up into the engine block. Let me tighten those up real quick. There's no way that you and I can both be in there at the same time. I'm just going to tighten up all 4 of those bolts, and I'll bring you right back. All right, sorry I couldn't show that to y'all. We couldn't both fit under there at the same time. I mean, there's 4 bolts in the corners. There's 9/16 bolts, 14 millimeter if that's what you have, and tighten up those 4 bolts. And then now the motor doesn't swing back and forth. The only thing I have now is just the loose wheels, things like that. But let's see if the knocking noise is gone. I do have a gas leak, so let me pull this hose line I have off of here. Let's start it up and see if that part's fixed or if I'm going to be putting an engine in this thing. There we go. That's fixed. Exhaust is really loud on this thing. It probably beat the muffler half to death as it was bouncing around. Simple fix, simple solution. Kohler Courage 21 happens in a whole lot of these. I've seen it more than once. Let's talk about why I think it happens. So this is a single cylinder engine. It has one big piston and cylinder. On a normal 2-cylinder engine, all the way up 8-cylinder engine, 10-cylinder engine, whatnot, you've got all these other compression strokes that are all occurring at different time intervals. And you have something called a harmonic balancer that dampens the power stroke so that it has enough inertia to carry it through the next cycle. You have a power stroke that's basically pushing that motor down really hard, and then it has to come up through the exhaust stroke and then pull down through the intake stroke, then back up through the compression stroke, and then again another power stroke. So there's a lot of inertia or a lot of momentum that has to carry that motor around. The way that these motors do it with a single cylinder like this is they have a really big counterbalance inside the motor. That counterbalance is supposed to take the weight of that motor and carry the momentum of the motor around until it has an opportunity. It's going through 4 cycles, right? It has to go through the power stroke, which is the spark plug has detonated. It pushes the piston down. It goes down to the bottom. It starts its way back up. The exhaust valve opens. It pushes that exhaust out. Once it reaches the top of that stroke, that exhaust valve closes. The intake valve opens. And remember, there's no power that's occurring during this. The intake valve opens. It runs the piston down, filling up the cylinder one more time, comes back through the bottom of the rotation, and compresses what you just filled up. That gasoline and air mixture compresses it to make it volatile again. And then once it reaches the top, it ignites and starts its whole sequence back over again. It takes 2 full crankshaft revolutions for every single power stroke that occurs. Because it's a single cylinder, there's not a secondary ignition and a secondary cylinder to carry it through that second revolution that nothing is occurring. So what they're using is a big old counterweight to carry that momentum through there. That unbalance there, I think, is what causes these motors to shake a lot. And then since it's coming through sheet metal into an aluminum block with a steel bolt, I think it just has an opportunity to get loose, wallow its way out, and it makes it sound just like a rod knocking. Anyway, I hope that that 5-minute fix and that really long explanation helped somebody figure out what's causing it, why it's doing it, and you could probably put some Loctite to help, carry it through. But simple problem, happens a lot, and doesn't always mean that it needs a motor. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.